Blind people of Reddit, how do you dream? Has nobody heard of a screen reader? Blind people use the internet. Yay, there's a lot of text-to-speech things out there. Happy Cake Day. Lol THX. Happy Cake Day. Generally we can't experience sensory info we haven't experienced in this life. So those born blind won't know of visuals. Those born deaf are immune to sound, etc. But if you lose your senses, or limbs, later, you might keep them in your dreams, and it sometimes becomes quite blurry in what you see, or other sensory info. For instance, I used to see somewhat well. I can't usually tell what part of my dreams are visual. I get lost a lot, in meat space too. I just somehow know I'm in a city, a hotel, in my home, etc. The architecture is always odd. I always get lost. My other senses are always sharp in dreams. So for instance, I recognize I sleep in a different room, because it feels like I'm sleeping on a different mattress. I read several things in Braille in my dreams, used computers, met people I haven't, or don't think I have in meat space, and done so many things from using my white cane fluently to landing airplanes. Don't worry, my eye surgeon told specifically I can't ever get a pilot's license. I can smell, taste, feel, touch and read Braille in my dreams. Visuals are occasional and not reliable. That's very interesting. Thanks for sharing. What do you mean when you say meat space, or is that a typo? It's often used to refer to real life as opposed to cyberspace, or in this case dreams. Blind people all use the internet with really cool tools. My brother's ex was born blind, and I asked her this once. She said she dreamt of colors and visuals, and if someone she knew was present in her dream, she had a personal visual that she recognized as them. Blind people have a pretty solid idea of what things look like, especially if they know you and can touch your face. The mind's eye just comes up with its own idea of a physical object or person. Obviously she had never seen us, but we often wondered how her dream people matched up to reality. Fascinating stuff. Yeah, it's so cool that there's so many adaptations to the internet to make sure everyone can enjoy it. They dream about sounds and whatnot. Boo. AHH. It scared me. Eek. Not blind, just logical and read. People born blind dream with noise and smell. People who went blind later in life might still have some visual dreams, but also might not. Damn, that's cool. I've never smelled stuff in my dream, but for blind people, it replaces sight, so they must. Yeah. I read that in a book. I'll have to look through my books to see if I can find out which one. The body is so interesting. Oh damn, thanks lol. There was a book I like reading, and it stated that people with sensory disabilities had to have their dreams consist of experiences that were from before they experienced that kind of disability. That's cool to think about. So someone who lost their vision at 20 would still dream and see color in their 60s. I don't think people realize text-to-speech exists. Are you saying they dream in text-to-speech? They actually dream in Braille. They probably dream while sleeping like everyone else. Feo facts. Bathroom thought. It actually makes sense that there are blind people on Reddit. They can enjoy it without, despite how it looks. Yay. You don't need to see every joke to understand it. My good friend is blind. He says he dreams, just as he lives normally, with shapes, feeling, sound, etc. One dream he told me about was him playing with his puppies, just like him experiencing them normally, but instead it was a dream. So it doesn't actually do anything different than reality. Damn. That's what I get from him. Yeah. I know this might be personal, but around what age did he lose his sight? He was born blind. I remember watching a video about a woman who completely lost her sight and still dreamed visually. She days, it's sad when she wakes up, but also nice she can still experience it to an extent. Yeah, you get like a daily reminder, which is refreshing in some ways. First, let me say that blindness doesn't always mean seeing absolutely nothing. It varies from person to person. I'm blind myself, with some vision in my left eye, light perception in the right. So since I can see somewhat in reality, I can see somewhat in my dreams, along with the rest of my senses. The same applies to those with no vision. If they can't see in reality, they can't see in their dreams. Bottom line is, whatever senses you have in reality, you have in your dreams. I hope this helps. Alright. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it makes sense that blindness isn't just black and white. Like you have it, or you don't have it. There's definition a gray area, like for color blindness. Good gods. Has no one heard of a braille note before? Yes, we can use the internet. Just like you. Username checks out alright. You should read The Dream Master, He Who Shapes, by Roger Zelazny. It tackles this exact question. Sort of. In a very 1960s/fee sort of way. In the future, as envisioned by Zelazny in '66, therapists use advanced simulation beds to help patients with their problems. A blind woman wants to become one of these therapists, even though she wouldn't be able to see to control the simulations. The main character of the novella thinks he can teach her to do this despite her handicap, and that he will get a medal for outstanding work in his field. It all gets very Zelazny from there. Good. Short read. Oh damn. That sounds really cool. Thanks for the recommendation. Events still happen. I have conversations with people. Dreams are more about impressions and concepts anyway. I'm not totally blind, but sometimes I have dreams with no visual component. Sometimes I dream with extremely minimal visual cues. It varies. Alright. It's not about how a dream is conveyed and shit. It's still a dream. I actually heard about this once. Instead of blind people seeing their dreams, they dream smells, feelings, and or sounds. Or so I've heard. That's cool, since we don't usually dream smells. But, since they rely on it more, it makes a way into their dreams. I can't tell if this is supposed to be a joke or not. Like legit question. Shouldn't blind people be able to dream with sight lol? I could just be dumb though. I once read that if they lost their vision after a certain age then they can see in their dreams. But if they lost their vision before that age then they cannot, and they dream with sound and feelings. I think the age was around 3, but I don't remember exactly. I remember this weird theory my friend had, which is why I initially asked the question. Let's say you explained the taste of salt to someone. Then, you gave them some salt without telling them what it was. They couldn't make the connection between the taste and the name salt. What if blind people dream, but they just don't know what seeing is? I never thought I'd say this, but you have smoked entirely too much weed. I remember looking this up, and also if deaf people could hear their dreams. If they were born blind, or were blind at an early age, then they basically hear their dreams. However, if they could see at one point in their life, and went blind then they can sometimes have vivid dreams. The same rule applies for deaf, except with seeing and not hearing. Oh damn, that's kinda crazy. NGL like the concept that their vision is still functional in dreams even when in reality their sight gone. Well, like us, they close their eyes first. Ah yes, big brain lol. Happy fellow cake day, Ty good lad. I haven't seen a single blind person comment on this post at all. This comment section is certainly something else. Tell me about it lol. Lots of nice people wishing happy cake day. A few confused lads who don't understand how blind people can use Reddit. And a few people with actually pretty cool stories. Not blind here, but the same way you do. Just without a picture. Just like their everyday lives. Yay. That's the most logical conclusion. Not blind, but I've had sensory dreams, where I either can't open my eyes or only get little snatches. Meanwhile, I feel weight on the bed and my limbs being rearranged, up in the air. Then, when I wake up, I'm still flat on my back. I've even had urination dreams, where the sensation is so real, that I wake in a panic to feel myself. Never happened, though I usually need to go. Dreams don't have to contain visuals. Oh true. Like I'm sure, if I had a dream without vision, I wouldn't realize something was off, until I woke up again. I wonder what lucid dreaming is like when being blind from birth. I came here to read about blind people dreaming. not about blind people using text-to-speech. Well, I mean lots of people just kept wondering how blind people could even read the question, lol. My favorite part of this post is Op replying to the Cake Day posts. Yes, LMAO, I feel so Canadian RN. I'm not blind, but I do know, if someone's blind, since birth they won't see anything, but if they weren't they will. Yay, that's pretty much the general consensus too. Didn't know they had that tool, but now that I think of it makes sense, thanks. Yee lol. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.